Between the Mariovo villages of Grudeshnica and Starovinja in today's Macedonia, high above a rugged landscape of cliffs and rocks, stands the fortress of Peshta. Silent and weathered, it has watched over centuries of battles, legends, and human lives. Archaeological remains show that this site was inhabited as far back as Roman times. Because of its exceptionally strategic position, historians believe it may have been used even earlier. Historical records suggest that the fortress once contained a church, several supporting buildings, and a hidden water supply system. For centuries, Peshta served as a refuge for the people of Mariovo. Its name also became forever linked to the legend of Kalesh Angja. In the early centuries of Ottoman rule, Mariovo was different from many other regions of Macedonia. The people lived freely and proudly. They traveled without fear, even to larger towns such as Prilep and Bitola. But one visit to the market in Prilep changed many lives forever. While a group of Mariovo villagers was trading in the town, Ottoman authorities seized several boys to be taken away and trained as janissaries. Among them was 5-year-old Angela, the twin brother of Anya from the Sirmevci family of Starovinja. The child was carried away to a distant part of the vast empire. His sister remained at home, growing into a beautiful and strong-willed young woman. Anya fell in love with Stoyan, a boy she had grown up with. But fate intervened once again. During a visit to the village of Vitoliste, she was abducted by an Ottoman judge and taken to his residence in Prilep. He intended to make her his wife. At first, she was offered wealth, luxury, and promises of an easy life. Then came threats and intimidation. But nothing could force Anya to abandon her faith, her love for Stoyan, or the memory of the brother who had been taken from her. She remained defiant until the very end. Eventually, her family discovered where she was being held. In a daring rescue, they managed to free her and escape back into the remote mountains of Mariovo. According to legend, these events became the spark that ignited the Mariovo uprising in the middle of the 16th century. Historical sources describe it as one of the earliest organized rebellions against the Ottoman Empire, at a time when the empire was at the height of its power. Surrounded by steep mountains and narrow passes, Mariovo was a natural fortress. The few roads leading into the region allowed the rebels to resist attacks for a long time. But eventually, the Ottoman army surrounded them from all sides. Outnumbered and overwhelmed, the rebels retreated into the fortress of Peshta. Most of those who sought shelter there were young people. The elderly either remained in the villages or hid in the mountains. A long siege followed. After several failed attempts to capture the fortress, Ottoman soldiers began interrogating and mistreating villagers in search of Peshta's weakness. According to local tradition, an elderly woman revealed the secret. The fortress had no spring of its own. Instead, it received water through an underground channel connected to a hidden spring nearby. Legend tells how the channel was eventually discovered. The Ottomans gathered several horses, fed them salty food, and kept them without water for days. They then tied the animals at different points on the eastern side of the fortress, where they suspected the underground waterway might pass. One horse sensed water beneath the ground and began digging frantically. That is how the hidden channel was found and cut off. Without water, the defenders of Peshta lost all hope. Some chose to fight to the death. Others surrendered and were taken away to Constantinople. Over time, the fortress was abandoned and left to the forces of nature. Centuries later, during the First World War, Peshta once again became a battlefield. Trenches were dug through its ruins, and heavy bombardments dramatically altered its appearance. Today, The remains of the fortress of Peshta still stand above Mariovo. Quiet and enduring, they watch over a land filled with legends, resistance, and an unbroken spirit.